Chapter 4. The Ego Filter. You're not hearing them. You're hearing how their words threaten your worth. You think you're having a conversation, but beneath the words, something else is happening. Your ego is filtering everything through one burning question. Am I safe? In the ego filter, you'll uncover how quickly communication turns into combat, not because the other person is your enemy, but because your ego thinks they are. This chapter cracks open one of the most painful personal barriers to connection. Why even gentle feedback can feel like an attack. Why does being wrong feel like being unworthy? Why your body reacts as if you're under fire when you're just being asked a question. This chapter doesn't shame the ego. It reveals it so you can disarm it. You'll watch real conversations unravel from simple moments of misunderstanding, and how the need to protect pride, save face, or defend your intelligence hijacks the whole dialogue. And then you'll learn how to pause that spiral in real time and return to presence. If you've ever felt like you had to prove your point, if you replay arguments in your head, wondering if you sounded stupid, if tone triggers you more than the words themselves, then this chapter will meet you at the most human edge of your communication, the edge where self-worth meets self-protection. Because this isn't about silencing your ego, it's about freeing your voice from its grip. Stop defending your value and start embodying it. Let's rewrite what power sounds like when it's no longer afraid. Sometimes it's not what was said, it's who said it. And that changes everything. 1. Opening scene. The manager who can't win. "You've really improved in your reporting," Harper said, with her usual calm but calculated tone, clipboard in hand. Jade didn't smile, didn't even look up from her notepad. "Sure, thanks, I guess." Harper hesitated, the silence settling like fog. "Was that not helpful?" Jade let the pause linger. "It's fine," she said, but her posture, her clipped tone, and the iciness between her words said otherwise. My reflection. Jade didn't hear encouragement. She heard control. To her, Harper's words weren't a compliment. They were another reminder of who held the power. This wasn't about performance. It was about perception. Jade didn't trust Harper, so nothing Harper said could land without distortion. 2. Real talk from Jermaine. Enter the ego filter. There is a moment in nearly every conflict where the words don't matter anymore. What matters is who said them. This is the ego filter, and it's one of the most powerful forces in human communication. When the ego filter kicks in, we stop evaluating the content of a message and start reacting to the identity of the speaker. We don't hear the intention, we hear our own internal response to them. And the more emotionally charged that relationship is, past wounds, power dynamics, comparison, the more likely the message will be twisted beyond recognition. The ego filter is not a conscious decision. It's reflexive, instant, and often destructive. 3. Why the ego filter exists. The ego filter forms as protection, but it often functions like a weapon, hurting our ability to connect and hear clearly. It's shaped by past offenses. You hurt me before, I can't hear you without remembering that. Unspoken competition. You've always tried to one-up me. Why would I trust your opinion now? Unresolved resentment. You don't get to tell me anything until you own your part. Jealousy or intimidation. You've got what I want, so I question everything you say. The more personal the history, the more powerful the filter. If you don't trust the person, you won't trust the words, even when they make sense. 4. Case study. Kareem and his sister Layla. Layla placed a gentle hand on her brother's shoulder. "You should look into therapy, Kareem, just to talk things out. No shame in it." Kareem's eyes narrowed. So now you think I'm broken? Layla looked stunned. What? No, I'm just saying it might help, that's all. He stood, voice rising. You've always acted like you have it all together. You're not better than me just because you figured your life out first. Layla's face dropped. Kareem, that's not what I meant at all. My reflection. Layla offered help, but Kareem didn't hear her. He heard about their childhood. He heard years of comparison, report cards taped to the fridge, their mother's offhanded praise. Why can't you be more like your sister? Layla's suggestion wasn't judgmental, but the ego filter had already decided it was. 5. Author commentary. When I couldn't hear truth. I remember the moment a coworker told me, "You're always so quick to respond in meetings. Maybe just give others space to speak up first." On paper, it was reasonable feedback, constructive, but it came from someone I had clashed with before, someone I perceived as passive-aggressive, someone I didn't respect. So I dismissed the message completely. Initially, I spiraled. They're just trying to dim my light. They always have a problem with strong voices. Later, someone else told me the exact same thing, and I heard it. Same words, different messenger, and this time no filter. The first voice wasn't wrong. I was just too proud to hear it. 6. The 3 faces of the ego filter. When your ego filter is activated, you often show up in one of 3 ways. The critic. Who are you to tell me that? You invalidate the speaker to protect your pride. The skeptic. They must have an agenda. You question every motive until you can't trust the message. Or the resistor. I'm not hearing this right now. You block input altogether, regardless of truth or usefulness. Each of these reactions builds walls where bridges are needed. 7. Character study. Deshawn and the friendly correction. Hey, Deshawn, said Brianna, his teammate. When you format the datasets, make sure to double-check the headers. They've been off a few times. Deshawn nodded tightly. Got it. But inside, he bristled. She thinks I don't know what I'm doing? Later that day, another colleague gave him the same feedback, and this time he thanked them. Why? Deshawn had always seen Brianna as a rival, someone who played politics. So her feedback wasn't just about formatting. To him, it was a power play. My reflection. The ego filter doesn't just reject the truth, it reroutes it. It personalizes professionalism, and it makes connection harder than it needs to be. 8. Disarming the ego filter. To hear clearly, you have to pause the reflex. Try this mental check-in the next time your pride gets pricked. If a stranger said this to me, how would I hear it? Am I upset by the message or by who said it? Could this be feedback my ego doesn't want, but my growth needs? Ask these quietly, with honesty. The answers might humble you, but they'll also free you. 9. Reflection exercise. Who do you mistrust too quickly? Think of someone whose words rarely land right, even when they're trying to help. Now ask, what past wound are you projecting onto them? What would it take to separate their message from their voice? Have they truly earned your distrust? Or are they paying for someone else's mistakes? You don't have to trust everyone, but when your filter blocks everything, even wisdom feels like war.